it will going to be stored, but it's okay.
Okay. First of all, a very good afternoon to all of you. Today,
Good
as we
afternoon,
all,
ma'am.
good afternoon, sir. As we all know that we are celebrating Shikshak Parv. We are celebrating Shikshak Parv, and on today we have webinar on nurturing inclusive classroom. First thing is, what is inclusive classrooms, and what is inclusive education? In a classroom, we have diverse learner. That's mean we have diversity in our classroom. हम देखते हैं अपने classroom में बहुत सारी diversity. Teachers, please mute yourself first of all. Please mute yourself. हाँ. So in a classroom, we have diversity in terms of socio-economic background, in terms of culture, ethnic group, disabilities, age, gender. And these days, we are talking about third gender also. So we have to bring about some changes in our teaching methods to make our classroom more inclusive. You know, in fact, this time, NEP 2020, it has its main focus on inclusive and equitable education also. And today, in our workshop, we are going to talk about inclusion, especially for differently abled or special need kids. Okay, any child who has disability more than 40% has a right of free education to the nearest school, and school has to make all the necessary changes to make it a success. Okay, so before going to talk about this topic further, I just want to show you a short movie. I just want that just see this movie, and then we will discuss what are the hidden ideas or what is exactly this movie trying to depict us. एक मूवी देखेंगे एंड लेट्स सी आप लोगों को कैसी लगती है वो मूवी. प्लीज म्यूट योरसेल्फ. हाँ, everybody please mute yourself. Okay, so it's a movie, just see this movie.
Presenting India's biggest intimate wear sale, Zivame's Grand Lingerie Festival, up to 70% off.
Yes. So it's a short movie and we can correlate this. Is it audible to everyone?
Yes, it's audible.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Just see this movie, and then we will discuss few points about this movie.
बाद में नहीं.
So I'm not going further in this movie. I just have a simple question from you all. Okay. So according to you, what is the underlying idea here? Can anybody tell me what is the underlying idea, or what does this movie depict here? Can anybody tell me? Am I audible? Yes, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. You are quite
Ah,
audible.
okay, I just want to know what does this movie depict, or what is the underlying idea of this movie?
Ma'am, for me, the idea was the complete boredom.
Uh, very correct. In fact, this movie can have many underlying ideas. Let's start with the simple one. First, first thing is the child, maybe he is not interested in writing, and but he is good at co-scholastic activity. But somehow we are pressurizing the child to do only academics, and as a result, we are killing his interest in
Hmm.
academics. This can be first idea. Second idea is major one. We are not accepting the diversity. We are trying to create a society which is exactly alike, somewhat like a robotic, robots. Every person should be same. Every person should do the same duty, and their nature of job should be same. So, are we not doing the same thing in our classroom? Are not our teaching methods are similar to that? Some with that. Again, before going further, I just want to share some screen and show again the PPT which we were discussing earlier. Yes. So we were talking about inclusion. Now again, I have a story. I don't know whether you people like stories or not, but definitely I like the stories. This is a jungle, and I have a short story about this jungle. Okay. Once upon a time, there was a forest, and there were so many animals in that forest. Okay. And every animal was capable enough in their own limits. So one day, they decided to introduce a model school in their forest, a model school where every animal will learn each and every skills. Okay. So they have started to plan out an exam, okay, assessment test, and here every animal has to learn different skills. Now let's talk about duck. Duck is good at swimming, okay, but duck is not able to climb the trees. Now the teacher said, you are not good at climbing. That's mean you have to work on this area. This is your weak area. And the duck has started wasting all its time in climbing the tree. Most of the time, the duck is trying to climb the tree. Over a period of time, what happened? The web of duck become weak. As a result, now the duck was neither able to swim and nor able to climb the tree. This is somewhat the real condition of our education system, or we can say of our classroom. We have diverse learner. Okay, see this picture. In this picture, there is an elephant, there is a fish, monkey, bird, etc. But we are putting same goal in front of each animal, which is not feasible at all. Okay, according to let's Albert Einstein, everybody is genius, but you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. You know? So are not we doing the same thing in a classroom? We are expecting same thing from each and every student. We are setting exactly same goal in front of each and every student. Now it's really high time we have to bring about some changes, because NEP 2020, its main focus on inclusive and equitable education, and that is possible only when we can do something at ground level also. Now what exactly, as a teacher, what is our role, what we can do at ground level to achieve this जो है inclusive education or equitable education. Okay. So here are a few things which we can do in a classroom as a teacher. And if primary teachers are there in this meeting, their role is much more important according to me as compared to a higher secondary or secondary teacher, because they are working at grassroots level. And if we deal with the problem, or if we try to find out the problem at the grassroots level, we can work more effectively as compared to higher level. Okay. So if we really want to nurture our inclusive classroom, what we have to do? The first thing is we have to identify. What we have to identify? We have diverse learner. We have students with disability also, as well as learning disability like dyslexia, etc. in our class. So the most important role here is of teacher, because a teacher spend all his time in the class along with the student. So as a teacher, it's our role to observe our student and check whether our students are not suffering with any form of disability. It may be learning disability or any other. Okay. Now, after identifying, if we have identified, then we have to talk to the parent, then we have to talk to the counselor, then we have to clinically identify it also. Okay. It is not always necessary that anything has to be clinically identified. Rather than remedial are more important. Next thing is, if we have identified a problem, the most important thing is acceptance. As a teacher, we has to accept. In a classroom, we have students. Some students are even not able to write the name. Some students are quite good. So first of all, we have to accept the individual differences. We have to accept that they are slow learner, they are not able to write their name, and then we have to strategize. Okay. Now, after acceptance, the next step is sensitization. We have to sensitize. First of all, we have to sensitize ourselves. We have to be sensitive to all these students, the support staff, the peer group, teacher. Everybody has to be sensitive towards these students. Now, once we are sensitive enough, third thing is what we can do in academics or in school. So when we are talking about special needs students, so there are certain changes which we have to do in our school buildings also, which is called as barrier-free environment. Okay. In this school, we have very few students with disability. Still, in a school, there should be ramp everywhere. Okay. There are tactile path also, sign and symbols also. And wherever picture required, picture should be displayed also, so that the student can freely move within the school building. Okay. And safety measures should be there also. Okay. After that is accommodation in teaching learning environment. When we are talking about students with special need, we have to consider their needs. I'm not talking about only special need. We have students with diverse need. Okay. Some student, they have poor eyesight, then we have to change their sitting arrangement. They should sit near the teacher. Okay. Some student, if we have VI student, visually impaired student, we have to provide them scribe or a writer. We have to give extra time to complete their time. In addition to that, those students who have some locomotor disability or who have some problem with fine motor skills, we have to give them grippers also. And the most important thing is peer buddy. Peer buddy plays a very important role according to me, because as a teacher, we know that we are already overburdened. We don't have time to give to each and every student. Then how we can deal with these problems in our classroom? Here we can, I would like to share my experience of previous school. I was in KVS Sector 4, RK Puram. In our school, it was two-section school. And in that small school, we have near about 30 to 32 students with only visual impairment. Beside that, we have kids with Down syndrome, with the with the VI problems also, audio problems also. So all types of disabilities were there in our schools, and we were doing so many things to make the education accessible for them also. Okay, and peer buddy was the most efficient thing. Here we were assigning duty to one or two students who were helping them to complete their work, and who can take them to washroom and who can help out to do various day-to-day work also. So these are the few things. I know most of the teachers are much more creative than me. They have much more idea than me. So I just want to give a gist of the idea. You know, the role of teacher. What should be our role? So our role is first positive attitude, believe. As a teacher, we have to be very positive. We have to show belief. You know, because we have read the story, abhi humne jo story padhi, in that story also, over a period of time, if we have negative attitude and if we lose our belief, so eventually the duck was not able to swim. So we have to be careful. This should not happen in our class, at least, you know. We have to be very sensitive, very loving, very caring. Whether a child is able to study or not, it's a secondary thing. But we have to be very equitable, or very, we have to behave equally with each and every student. We should not discriminate, and we have to accept the diversity among our students. Second thing is we have to sensitize our peer also. Okay, peer role is very, very, very important, because we are sitting in a class for 30 to 40 minutes, but the peer group is basically spending whole time with their classmates. So it's very necessary, if we train them, if we strengthen them, you know, they will help our special need, our slow learner, or our diverse need student in the classroom. Third one is accept socio-culture, physical variation among learner. These things basically eventually come among the students by sensitizing them, sensitizing through stories, sensitizing by talking with them. Okay. Um, in addition to all these things, the most important thing is we have to be very careful when we are talking in our class, each and every word. I just want to quote a simple example. It's for primary, it's for 6 to 10 classes. When we are talking about equality, but when we are doing the sitting arrangement in our class, girl child sit with girl child and boy student sit with a boy student. So so somehow we are introducing discrimination. We are introducing that boys and girls are different, they cannot sit together. So somehow unknowingly we are doing some sort of practices which are not good. So we have to be very careful in these small actions. And again, I just want to go back to this small quote that is given by Albert Einstein. Every child is genius. Our duty is not to जो है teach them 3 hours reading, writing and numerals, but we have to train them. We have to give a environment where the holistic development of these child can take place. That is the most important, and that is beyond textbook. We are not talking about textbook, because in classroom we are basically confined more or less towards the textbook also. मैं थोड़ा हिंदी में बोलूंगी अब. हम क्लासरूम में ज्यादातर टेक्स्ट बुक में कॉन्सेंट्रेट करते हैं. आई डोंट नो, मैं खुद भी बहुत ज्यादा टेक्स्ट बुक में ही कॉन्सेंट्रेट करती हूँ, बट वी आर नॉट टॉकिंग टू आवर स्टूडेंट्स. हम कभी सेंसिटाइजेशन की बात नहीं कर रहे हैं, हम कभी कोई उन्हें स्टोरी नरेट नहीं कर रहे हैं, है ना. स्टोरीज का बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रोल होता है बच्चों में, और स्पेशली हम प्राइमरी में बहुत स्टोरी सुनाते हैं. एज द चिल्ड्रन ग्रो अप, ये स्टोरीज कहीं वैनिश हो जाती हैं, फिनिश हो जाती हैं. बट समहाउ आपने देखा है पंचतंत्र जितनी भी स्टोरीज हैं, ये सारी मोरल वैल्यूज डाल रही हैं बच्चों में. हमें पंचतंत्र नहीं सुनानी है, बट एटलीस्ट थ्रू स्मॉल स्मॉल इंसिडेंसेस हम लोग अपनी क्लासरूम को सेंसिटाइज कर सकते हैं. एंड सेंसिटाइज तभी आएगी, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, व्हेन वी डू द एक्सेप्टेंस. सबसे पहले हमें एज अ टीचर वी हैव टू एक्सेप्ट. मुझे खुद को एज अ टीचर एक्सेप्ट करना पड़ेगा कि आई हैव अ स्टूडेंट इन 10th क्लास who is not able to write the name properly, and then again I have to go back and start from there only. मुझे वहीं से स्टार्ट करना पड़ेगा। उस बच्चे के लिए नेम से ही स्टार्ट करना पड़ेगा। वो नेम लिखेगा, धीरे धीरे लिखेगा। Why we are setting same goal to each and every student? क्लासरूम में अभी यही हो रहा है। आई एम टीचिंग साइंस टू द क्लास। जो मैं पढ़ा रही हूँ मुझे मालूम है 10 स्टूडेंट्स के लिए वो बिल्कुल इररेलेवेंट है। दे जस्ट वांट टू नो द बेसिक्स, है ना। तो हियर वी हैव टू डू सर्टेन चेंजेस। सिस्टम में भी स्लोली चेंजेस आ रहे हैं, बट आई फील ग्राउंड लेवल पे एज अ टीचर हमें चेंजेस लाने हैं इन टर्म्स ऑफ एक्सेप्टेंस, in terms of sensitization, and then after that we have to work in that particular direction to bring about the change. So thank you. I hope I have not taken too much time of yours because today is holiday already, you know. So anybody would like to add up anything, he or she is most welcome.
थैंक यू मैडम। मैडम थैंक यू, बहुत अच्छा रहा।
Thank you, sir.
थैंक यू मैडम, बहुत बढ़िया
Thank you.
बहुत बढ़िया,
Thank
बहुत
you, sir.
अच्छा
Thank
लगा।
you.
अच्छा बच्चा हिंदी और इंग्लिश भाषाओं में।
Thank you, Urmila ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Urmila ma'am, I want to say something.
Yes, ma'am.
When I was in NFC, your husband was also there, sir was also there.
Yes,
In
ma'am.
that school, I had a child who was having this same problem, locomotory organ problem was there with him. And those infrastructure was not there as